heart attack, fast fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kiryu Show here. And now, whenever we last left off, Izuku Midoriya, him and Toru Hakakure faced off against Kirishima and Bakugo Katsuki in the Heroes vs. Villains. Midoriya discovering that Kirishima is the one with the strength enhancing quirk. Now, with that being said, Midoriya fought against Kirishima and was able to take him down. Afterwards, he went over to help him get to Recovery Girl. Meanwhile, you do also have Toru. Midoriya basically saved her life whenever the elevator came down to the first floor. Kirishima and Bakugo cut the wires to it, and Bakugo tossed a grenade in it for good measure. Now, with that, shrapnel was sent flying after the elevator smashed into the first floor, and hit the emergency brakes, the grenade exploding in the process. Midoriya, he was seen by Toru actually at least experiencing pain, or showing a pained expression. Now, we do have today. It has been roughly 2 weeks since that day. And, well, there's been quite a bit of talk among the girls. Some of the girls are at least talking about Midoriya. One girl was talking about how she actually wants to ask him out and see if he'd be up for a relationship. Now, they were talking about this after school. And, well, it was Mina. She's a bit more outgoing and will actually express her emotions. Meanwhile, you do have some of the other girls who know about this. That's not really cool. A lot of them actually have feelings for Midoriya. However, it's the fact that he's always seemingly swarmed by people and barely seems to have a lot of free time. Now, Midoriya uses his free time to visit his father in the hospital and try and see if his condition has at least even improved. Now, the free time that he does actually have, he spends training, instead of just sitting down and relaxing for a day. And you do have this morning. They are, at least, in class. And Midoriya, he actually has gotten done with his assignments before the bell does ring and, well, they do head to lunch. Now, Midoriya just sits there at a table, eating his lunch while everyone around him tries to ask him questions. Midoriya having to explain that they should all just sit down and eat, while they all still do begin talking. And Midoriya, he's getting a bit more fed up with his stuff, before finally just standing up. While everyone is trying to ask him questions, he just yells, "Shut the hell up! All of you! Jesus! This is a school. Besides, it's lunch. Instead of speaking, you all should be eating." To be honest, some of you guys are annoying me. So, can you please do me a favor? Leave me the hell alone! Now, a lot of people actually do walk away, heading to their own separate tables. while Midoriya, he's just left sitting there. Finally, a little bit of peace and quiet. Now, as he does say that, Diane does actually walk over to his table and sit down, beginning to eat. What are you doing over here? Meanwhile, over at the girl's table. Roughly after Midoriya screamed. It seems like he would like to be left alone. I think he would. Yeah, I don't really think it's the best time to approach him. I don't think well, you're not wrong about that, Toru, but still. Midoriya is a very complicated person. In fact, he does carry a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Pressure? Or pressure? What do you mean by that? Well, think about it this way. Whenever he was younger, his mom did die. Really? What happened? I'm not too sure on the specifics of it. You can probably look into it. It was a public case. But, well, a villain attack. They were trying to get something from him. They wanted something. I'm assuming blackmail. But they didn't get it. In fact, whoever did it is currently the reason why he is all alone. He's been like that since he was at a young age. What do you mean? His mother died when he was 7, and his father's been in a coma. In fact, if I remember from what our conversations hold, her going to stand up, saying he's been all alone ever since then. In fact, he had to hire someone to take care of him. No other family. Before walking over and sitting down. Now, as soon as that does happen, you do actually have Momo, who goes on saying that she can somewhat relate to that. On the business trips that she actually did go on with her father and her mother, things seem to be a lot easier and less complicated. However, as she got older, she began to see little less of them. It's hard enough not being able to see your parents when they're there, but it's whenever they're not there and you want to see them. In fact, well, Jeez, that does sound rough. But, sorry to change the subject, but Yaoyorozu, you know Midoriya for the longest, right? Yeah. We met one day at a, well, place. Really? Where'd you meet? Well, we met at well, I don't really suppose you can call it a gala. It's more like a fancy party. He was wearing a suit and, well, he was kind of funny. Kind of funny? What do you mean? Well, it's sort of the way he acted. He offered to dance, but I didn't really feel comfortable. In fact, I didn't really see him as a good guy then. But he was funny. Ironically, we made jokes the whole night. And exchanged numbers. He didn't call me for a while, though. Wait, you gave him his number? You gave him your number? Yeah, why? No reason. Jiro says going back to her lunch. Meanwhile, you do have Asui, who asks an important question. So, what she's gathering from this all is, they all have something from Midoriya, right? Each one of them somewhat freezing, before looking over at her. What? Well, it's not that hard to see. The guys, Well, weird, sure. And he's unpredictable. But the guy kind of seems. How's the best way to put it? He seems very smart, but he's also very egotistical. In fact, she's not really too sure what to say about him. In fact, her best guess is the guy's probably insane. Now, they do actually look back over at Midoriya's table. And Midoriya, he just got done with his food. As he does at least do one thing. Pull out his phone and go onto it. Looking up a certain movie clip from a long time ago. Before placing the phone on a glass of water, and just watching the clip. Meanwhile, now, back over at the girls' table, we do have Mina. She was actually asked by Froppy exactly what did she see in the guy. The guy just seems to be very random. Mina going on to say that Izuku's kind of random, yes, but there's other things to it. From what she can tell, the guy can be serious whenever he wants to, and he at least does so show that he tries to be a good person. In fact, her bringing up that if she's correct, didn't Ochako say that he actually helped her out? Yeah, about that. You see, I don't really want to bring this up, but I guess I have to. Midoriya sort of helped me out a lot. Not only with physically training, and actually trying to improve upon myself, but somewhat money-wise. My parents don't really live in town. I convinced them to rent an apartment that's a bit more pricey, but it's closer to UA. And, well, with us having money troubles and all, I was skipping some meals. Oh, Choco, that's really bad. You know you can hurt yourself like that, right? Especially if you're trying to train. Your body's gonna burn up muscle instead of fat. That being what Kendo says. Well, yeah, he sort of informed me about that whenever I met him. In fact, I sort of passed out and he had to catch me. Apparently, he stopped the piano from falling on me. I still don't know why he had one of those. But he not only did he cook me dinner that night, after helping me, but he also basically cut my rent in half, and gave me some money the next day. In fact, ever since then, I've actually been in the best shape I've ever been in a long time. Well, that's awfully nice of him. So, while we're still on topic, Kendo, what exactly do you see in the guy? Well, the guy's got strength, I'll give him that. And, actually recently, I've seen a little bit more. He doesn't really seem very... Well, actually he does, but sometimes he seems smarter than other times. I don't know what it is. It's that personality he has. He seems reckless, but he's also tactical and smart. It's kind of interesting. He only uses his smarts whenever he needs to. I think it's either that, or the fact that he's the only person who doesn't look down on me when we fight. He doesn't hold back against me, and I don't have to hold back against him. I don't have to worry about killing, hurting, or crushing an opponent. It's a little bit liberating, actually. Okay, that's actually kind of alright. Yeah. They do go around discussing things. How Toga actually first met Midoriya whenever he was in an arcade. And he basically stopped the kid from stealing another kid's arcade, tickets. And she saw exactly how Midoriya's quirk operated. Whenever blood came pouring out of every orifice of his face, and he just got back up and it disappeared. Then there's the fact that Jiro does bring up that he actually saved her from getting hit by a car. Or even a truck. Now, they all do go around and share their own stories. Meanwhile, back at Midoriya's table, as he is watching the movie clip, it plays, showing his dad upright and awake in the All Might costume. Have no fear, for, as he strikes a pose, putting his hands on his hips and saying, I am here. And don't forget about me. Midoriya says running up, and striking the same pose next to his dad. Before his dad actually does somewhat let out a little bit of a laugh. And the movie actually does play out. Midoriya is watching some of the bloopers from the old movie. In fact, some of them actually do have him and his dad's best moments. Sure, nothing may have survived that fire, but even then there's little bits and pieces of him there that he can find. When Midoriya is at least having a little bit of a smile come on his face, Kirishima actually does walk over and sit down at the table, causing Midoriya to actually just click off his phone, turning the power off and the screen going black. Looking up. Hey, what do you want? Oh, sorry man, no one was sitting here. It's alright. I'm just not in the mood today. Oh, I see. So, what do you... Well... Alright, I'm just gonna ask this question. What do you think of our last fights? Oh, you did pretty good. Actually, you actually forced me to almost up my power. What do you mean? Well, with Hunter's Fest, I can take a lot of power from an opponent. Up to around half. Half? Yeah. But then again, I was basically just trying to distract you. If I wanted to, I probably could have taken 30% and beat you easily. But I did actually have a bit of a question about that. You see, it seems a bit unnatural for you to have two quirks. Alright, man. But I mean, I could say the same about you. Crap, does he know? Shit. No, he can't know about All Might's power. So, I actually have a question about that. About my quirk? Oh, yeah, I've had it for a long time. Midoriya opening his bag and getting a piece of paper. Writing down on the paper the name of the quirk. Before saying, so, it wouldn't happen that this is the name of your quirk, right? Sliding it over. Kirishima letting out a loud scream for a second. Before pretending that he bit his tongue. After Midoriya basically has to grab the paper and crumble it up. Jeez. Dude, how do you know about that? Really, man? You're wondering why All Might wouldn't have handed me the quirk, right? What? Think about it for a second. If the quirk can make your arms, legs, and your head go flying off, would you have taken the power? Well, no, but I trained for it. Yeah, I know. You seem pretty bulky for your size, but still, man. Come on. You really didn't think he would have offered it to the guy who can generate his head back? That's actually a very good point. So, you didn't take on the quirk? I didn't want it. Besides, Midoriya letting this part slip out. The way he trains enough, it shit already hurts. What? Ignore that. I didn't say anything. Are you sure? Because I could have swore I heard you say something. Nope. Anyways, man, Midoriya says scooting over. And Diane does get up on her feet, saying that lunch is over, so I gotta go. Midoriya running off for a second, and trying to compose himself. Now, that actually did seem a bit odd, and you do have Froppy. It seems like a coincidence that Midoriya has met a lot of people in Class 1A. Sure, he's rich and, well, it could just be a coincidence. But it makes no sense. Plus his quirk. It makes no sense either. How would his power work? Clearly destroying the brain and brainstem doesn't matter. If you were to destroy both of those at once, or even one of those, he should have been dead. So, it's kind of odd. But it does make sense. Her theory does seem kind of sound. Midoriya's body, his brain, doesn't actually contain his consciousness. Midoriya's body works like a single cellular organism, meaning where it all does look and mimic human functions, really all he would need to do is absorb things through his skin. Or, well, it does make sense. But there's the way he acts. Is it some sort of ability he can do, or does he just choose to swallow stuff? Okay. This is kind of weird. Then again, her other theory doesn't seem too far off. Midoriya is an alien. No, that sounds kind of stupid. But then again, Aizawa said that he couldn't erase a quirk, and he still healed his broken arm. Now, with that being said, after school, Asui does somewhat get to thinking. Meanwhile, you do have Midoriya. Dian asking Midoriya if he's going to go somewhere, or if he's going to head straight home. Midoriya saying that he's actually got to go somewhere, so he'll see her later. Alright, well, see you at home. Wait, Dian. Now, insert a ribbit anywhere you want, but I'm not going to say ribbit in between my sentences, otherwise I will start laughing. But she begins to try and ask, where exactly is Midoriya going? I'm not too sure. Really? You don't know where he's headed? Not really. In fact, we do live together, but even then, I'm not really in charge of him. He does whatever he wants to, and I do whatever I want to. Usually, as long as there is no conflict between us, it should all be fine. Really? Yep. Besides, are you curious about something? Well, there's also your quirk itself. Oh, you mean doll? Yes. Well, I'm sort of curious. Yeah. Dian, she sort of knows what Asui's about to ask. So, she brings her hand up and shoots a beam into her head. Asui immediately getting all of her questions answered the exact way she wanted them to be. Dian manipulating her memories before sending her on her way. Froppy, kind of confused whenever she does come back to. Remembering her conversation with Dian, where Dian basically pointed her in the direction of Midoriya, saying that if you really want to know where to find him, or where he's going to follow him, which she did, following Midoriya to the hospital nearby, and watching as he does go there, walk up the staircase, and head to a room. As soon as Midoriya is inside the hospital room, she does actually come up and hide by the door, listening in as she hears the following conversation. "Hey, Dad. How are you?" No response. Her kind of confused. His dad's in the hospital. Okay, so that was true. So, what's going on? Now, you also do have Midoriya, who goes on talking about his day with his dad. Hey, Dad, my day was a bit weird. It was also a bit tiring too, but I'm just not too sure. Ironically, I had a talk with somebody. Somebody who I fought 2 weeks ago. The guy's pretty strong, and I actually wanted to have a fair fight with him. I could have beat him, sure, but I didn't want to be like that. I'm trying to be somewhat nice, but I'm still trying to at least be a bit on the edge, you know? What's he talking about? But anyways, Dad, I was wondering, have they been taking good care of you? Midoriya taking a whiff of the air. Well, at least they're giving you a bath. Jeez. Are they at least playing your shows at least? Alright. I just don't know what to do, Dad. All this fame and glory stuff, I think I'm over it. Everybody keeps just looking at me, keeping their eyes on me. I'm not too sure how to respond to it. Do you know how to respond to it? Because at this point, it's just becoming more of a hassle. I keep having to put a smile on my face and pretend everything's okay. Pretend like Mom isn't dead. Pretend like you're still around. But Dad, you've been gone for over 5 years. You've been here, out of commission for a while. I'm just confused. I've had to take care of myself for a long time. I mean, I figured it out, sure, but even then. You also do have, well, Midoriya taking his caretaker's name, saying that she comes around a lot, but even then, she's not Mom. She's the best he's got at this point. He would fire her, but hey. She acts the way he wants someone to act. She's not afraid to be tough on him, and she doesn't treat it like a job. She actually does treat him like family. So, Midoriya going on to say that he hopes to one day help him. He will find a cure for his condition, even if it means he has to give up his powers. He would do it. Now, with that sentence being done, you have Asui outside the hospital room, who is left kind of stunned at Midoriya. She understands him a whole lot better now. Midoriya is scared. He doesn't see himself as immortal. He can take out and dish out quite a lot of damage. And the simple fact is, people get hurt around him. That's what he's scared of. He's scared of everyone else getting hurt instead of him. That's why he wants to be a hero. That's why he has all that drive. That's why her thoughts being interrupted by a hand on her mouth and a familiar voice. Asui, what are you doing here? Her being surprised and almost jumping onto the ceiling. Before at least recognizing that this is Toga. Being able to get her hand off her mouth and turn around. Toga, what are you doing here? Well, if you must know, I was trying to listen in. And I'm guessing you were doing the same. I check up on his dad. Really? Why? To make sure that the hospital staff are treating him fine. Oh, okay, but that still doesn't explain it. Well, I don't really need to explain myself to you, but please. Besides, I'm kind of late. Did I already miss his conversation? Yeah. Alright, well, we gotta go. Her grabbing Asui's hand and quickly running off with her. Now, as soon as they are able to get around the corner, the doorway does open. And Midoriya actually does walk out with his bag in his hands. Before looking up in the air and taking a deep breath. Okay. I think I've calmed down enough. Him walking down the hall. Or the opposite hallway. Before at least thinking. Okay. He's going to be able to get home, train, and at least rest for a second. Clear his head. Okay. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.